Children!
Hey, Chef! Chef, what's a prostitute?
Dag-nabbit children, how come every time you come in here, you got to be asking me questions I shouldn't be answering? Chef, what's a clitoris? What's a lesbian, Chef? How come they call it a rim job, Chef? For once, can't you just come in here and say, hi, Chef, nice day, isn't it?
Hi, Chef, nice day, isn't it?
It sure is. Thank you.
Chef, what's a prostitute?
You children are going to get me in trouble with the principal again.
Lunchtime, I'm starved.
Oh, my God. Eric?
That's me. Chef was just about to tell us what a prostitute is. Hi, Tanja.
Why do you need to know what a prostitute is anyway?
Because Jesus told us that Kenny's a prostitute, is he?
Well, no, of course, Kenny is not a prostitute.
Why?
Well, because children, a prostitute is someone who you can pay for certain services.
Like what?
Like keeping you company. Understand?
No.
You see, children, sometimes a man needs to be with a woman. But sometimes when the loving is over, the woman just wants to talk and talk and talk and talk. But a prostitute is someone who would love you no matter who you are, what you look like. Yes, it's true, children. But that's not why you pay a prostitute. No, you don't pay for her to stay. You pay her to leave afterward. That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. James Taylor.
A prostitute is like any other woman. They all trade something for sex, and they do it well.
That's why I say prostitutes, prostitutes. James Taylor, what the hell are you doing in here singing about prostitutes to the children? Get out of here.
Hello, children. Thought I'd open with a little ditty. One of my favorite shows, South Park. How you doing, Tanja? God. You know, these people, it's crazy how they think that they're good. It really is crazy to me because well, especially King of Chaos. I'm sorry. And Swiss, like it's just like ugh. And Hippie Chick, I saw what you wrote on fucking Tiffany's heartbreaking video. You just had to fucking you had to take that opportunity to fucking degrade her. You just had to. Like, you don't go to her channel. You don't say anything nice about her. So what you left on her video, that's not coming from your heart. You just saw like a kink in her armor, like time when she's feeling vulnerable. So you wanted to just rub some salt in the wounds and it's really amazing to me. Oh, no one else is amazing to me. King of nothing. I know that AC/DC gets blocked around the world. Can't play AC/DC. Your video gets blocked. When I play stuff like music and stuff, I'm well aware that it probably won't be monetized. Hello, Ooga Booga. Ooga Booga. I don't know. Is that like, I don't know. But I know that or it might even get blocked. But I know for certain when I play AC/DC, I'm going to have to remove it. I know for certain. So you thinking that you or anybody in your realm needs to tell me how to do anything is like off the chain. It really, really is. It really is. And nepotism. Thanking Munchie for sharing your video out. That's like, I don't know, thanking shit for not stinking for a moment. What's wrong with you? Just psycho. But I'm surprised you didn't make a video correcting Janelle's pastor, because John the Baptist wasn't the leader before Paul, and he died before Jesus did. And yeah, I'm just really shocked that she didn't make a video correcting him. I mean, that's an actual, pastor there, and they didn't have Jews get circumcised because when they would go to the gym and be nude in the gym, they could tell they were Jewish. That's not why Jews got circumcised. I did find it odd that you brought up that, that you wouldn't have been a wrestler in those days. Found that kind of odd. But, and bringing up, men being naked in the gym back then. She uses Wonder Bread at communion. Hi, Diana. Diane, I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse people with bad Diana. Dirty Diana to the nice Diane. Yeah, but that's not why they circumcised people. Yes, you're the nice Diana. And John the Baptist died before Jesus. So I think maybe Nepotrish needs to make a video to your pastor. And Crossroads and Cats. I do appreciate your statements towards e-baggers, but don't you think he's kind of weird for spending so much time trying to convince people that they're liars? Like, it's so weird. It's so weird that, like, I think YouTube sends out notifications to people who don't like me. And my friends, like, they don't get, because it's just so odd to me that, there's 19 people here. Those other 16 can't say hi to Diane, Tanger, and Ugga Bugga. And what's annoying is that even in, like, if you have members only, you really can't control who becomes members. So even if we did just members only chats, there'd still be weirdos just sitting there saying nothing. And I'm sorry to call people weirdos that do that, but I mean, if you're gonna be here like right away, be here because you want to be, not because you dislike something. That sounds like odd behavior, like to tell people to get off YouTube if certain things are happening to them. Then, kind of in the same sense, also don't go to, live streams that, you just want to just sit there for what purpose, I don't know. But I'm not talking about you guys. I don't mind when my friends fall asleep and stuff, but they usually say hi when they come in. It's just, it's hard for me to wrap my head around people who don't know that they can change the channel if they don't like me. What I think I'm gonna do, right now, while I have the hi Kimbers, what I'm gonna do right here is something I think is important, and apparently, yeah, but even the studio audience would you'd see them and they'd participate, and they were there because they wanted to see the show and clap and encourage the people. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird to me when they can't understand that they're the ones who actually um, like to harass people. But this right here, this sounds like a good reason um, uh, to do maybe a little bit of harassing, but maybe not them. This sounds like an idea to me. So, disclaimer: I do not own all the audio contained within this video. I am using it within the Fair Act guidelines. It's been altered in speed and is being used for commentary, entertainment, educational purposes only. That's not the one. Hold on. And I like what these people are saying, and this lady kind of gets me riled up to do what she's saying to do, because I don't know, she's just tough shit. And it's a good reason. It's a real good reason. So I know that we all don't have the same uh, political views, but I do think the current state of the country right now is extremely important.
Actions have consequences, and Elon Musk continues to explore the find out phase. And sometimes even Fox News gets a chyron correct every now and then. Check out this clip.
Next generation technology. I think if you want to learn something on this show tonight, buy Tesla. It's unbelievable that this guy's stock is this cheap. It'll never be this cheap again. When people understand the things he's building.
For me, just like this lady says, That's insider trading. That's illegal. That's illegal to do that. And especially if he owns stock in it. This channel is called I've Had It.
The robots he's building, the technology he's building.
Notice the Chiron. Notice the Chiron at the bottom. Democrats want to destroy Musk. And I have to say, yes, as a matter of fact, we do. And it's not just Democrats. People that voted MAGA cannot stand this guy. Independents cannot stand this guy. This guy is a stain. This guy is a Nazi. This guy is a fraud. This guy is a parasite that sucks off of hardworking Americans and wants to take their earned benefits. Social.
Damn straight. And you don't have to be a Republican or a Democrat to know that Elon Musk has a lot of fucking, conflicts of interest, and there's some shit going on.
Security is something that all Americans earn, is taken out of our paychecks, and then we are to get it at a later date when we are older and unable to work. And Elon Musk, the parasitic shit stain that he is, wants to take that from Americans. And yes, we do want to destroy Tesla. And I will say this, if Tesla doesn't want to be destroyed, it's very simple. Fire Elon Musk, have a press conference and say this guy's a Nazi. He's an untreated drug addict. He is unhinged. He is anti-democratic. We want nothing to do with him. He didn't even.
I like this lady. I do. I like this lady because she's talking some sense. Because I don't know who the fuck that motherfucker thinks he is, wanting to touch people's benefits, that they took the money out of our checks all our fucking lives. Then this motherfucker thinks they're going to swoop in and steal it. And if they don't do something quick, they will steal it. And there'll be nothing left from it because of them bastards.
Even invent Tesla. Nikola Tesla did, and we intend to restore this brand to this country and earn goodwill with the people. And guess what would happen to the stock? It would go right back up. If Tesla wants their stock to be successful, then that's their choice.
What do you mean, get booted down? What does that mean?
But in the interim, all decent Americans will work day in, day out, nonstop, around the clock to destroy Elon Musk.
Absolutely love that. Two things I'm going to say about that. Where was the Fox Chiron that said Elon Musk is doing Nazi hand gestures at inauguration? We didn't see that. And I want to point out to everyone, Howard Lutnick is the Secretary of Commerce.
If they're gonna do anything, they have to do it without all that process and stuff, because they're gonna steal the money. They're gonna steal everything. They're looting this country, and rich people don't care. They'll fucking move to wherever they want. They got millions of houses. They don't give two shits. Yeah, they don't give two shits.
He is pushing a stock on the American people. As best I can tell, that is illegal. And if he personally owns Tesla stock, that is a criminal, a personal.
Remember, Martha Stewart went to jail. What the fuck?
Crime that he is committing. So let's not be fooled. This guy has an ulterior motive, and it is to suck Donald Trump's dick and to suck Elon Musk's dick and to earn money.
All of MAGA they play one side of a game. Of course he owns Tesla stock. Of course what he is doing is illegal. Of course everything that Trump and Musk and everybody is doing is illegal.
Now, I know these ladies are telling the truth, but I'll tell you some things that some things I literally have to go and look up on Google to see if the stories are true anymore. And it started with excuse me, the Gene Hackman stuff, when they were saying they found all these bodies under his house and everything, and they had like all these videos about it. But when I went and I Googled it and researched, it was a fake story. Just like when Wild Wisdom saw the story that Reba McEntire had died. Fake story. Caesar Milan going to jail for life. Fake story. So look things up before you believe them. But I know that these ladies are spot on right here because they're real ladies.
Legal. The entire bit of it is. And this is where Democrats have to
step in and get their hands dirty and say these people are absolute criminals. And we can talk about the little tiny things they keep doing that are illegal, or really start bullying the shit out of them relentlessly. And it's working with Elon. It is working. He has been reported to have been crying audibly in the White House.
So if we've got to take it out on someone, let's take it out on Elon. Do what this lady says.
Like a little titty baby crying. And then
That's
Donald
what
Trump
she calls
was
him, a little titty baby. That's what she calls Elon all the time, a little titty baby.
to cheer him up. And then they get all of the MAGA bros to cheer him up on the manosphere. And then they get Fox, and they get, the uber masculine Jesse Waters out there to rough up Tim Walz. It's just,
Well, I don't know either why. It seems odd, doesn't it? Only since this guy's been president have I been seeing all that shit. I mean, the hoax stuff, like, oh, who died this week and stuff. We knew those things were kind of hoaxes, but it seems like there's even more now. I think it's because these guys want to. And here's another thing I keep wondering about. What are they trying? What is going on in Gaza right now? What are they trying to distract us from?
the biggest display of a titty baby parade.
I looked. I searched. Everything is from a month ago. I want to know what the fuck's going on, and I want to know why these bastards are still attacking Yemen.
I have ever seen in my life. But there's a plot twist to this whole thing. And I want to say, who is behind the Tesla cars catching on fire?
I think it's Elon. I think it's Elon. I'm sorry. I said it before, and now they're saying it too. I'm telling you, I think it's Elon.
Only being burnt. Nicole Monet says, I am convinced Elon is behind the attacks on Tesla cars and dealerships. He's drumming up rage for MAGA as he commits insurance fraud. The cars aren't selling. Might as well torch them to create propaganda, then collect the insurance money. There is no proof. I am wrong. And I agree, there's no proof whatsoever.
What's ridiculous? The fake stories that they put on about Cesar Millan going to jail for life. I can't believe they're doing that. Like, that's crazy.
However, that Elon Musk isn't doing this. We all know he cheats on video games. He pays one of the best video game players in the world to impersonate him. How do we know Elon isn't behind this? The number one place
up. The fucking guy can't stand to lose so bad that he pays someone to play video games for him and say it's him.
MAGA likes to be. They love to play victim. Donald Trump's a victim of a witch hunt. He's a victim of all of these, nasty women. He's a victim of CBS News. He's a victim of Bud Light. He's a victim, titty baby city victim. Elon Musk is the exact same way. Elon Musk's mom had to go on Fox to say, quit being mean to my son. So I don't know if that's a conspiracy theory or not, but I do know this. We need to.
Well, I think the fake news comes from Trump. I mean, they fact check him all the time, as do I. And he takes credit for bills he didn't even sign into place. And he's just really, really off the chain.
Talk about it. I think it's absolutely possible that Elon is setting his own cars on fire because nobody wants to buy the pieces of shit. Nobody can trade them in and get any money for them because this is the most toxic item in the world today is a swastika car. Well, show me the proof that they're not blowing up because they're poorly made. I mean, we've got...
Well, yeah, because they said that panel flew off one of those Tesla trucks because it was glued on, not bolted on. Ain't that some shit?
Calls. We've got brakes. You can tear them apart with, an eyelash. So these cars are not great cars anyway. And when you say it like she said it in that tweet.
Not to mention the cobalt that he uses is what's got the unrest going on in the Congo because, yeah, I know, I saw that too. Some of them are fake, some of them are. But I will fact check them before I put them up, before I...
Nobody's buying these cars. The stock is
But the cobalt that he uses in the Tesla cars that's why they're so pissed, because And that's why Ukraine is like pissed, because they want their minerals in the ground. And he uses child labor. He uses child labor. And he pays the workers like $1 a day over there.
They're sitting on lots. No one's buying them. Insurance will have to reimburse you if they go up in flames. It's not a terrible theory.
And then also, Fox is, we just have to remind everybody, is an entertainment channel for dumb people who need to pretend like they're smart by watching the news. That's what it is. It's dumb people saying, oh, I'm watching the news, because they can't comprehend facts, so they have to dumb it down on Fox. So how do we think Fox is handling this
I mean,
Tesla?
look what they just did with that whole texting thing. Texting. War plans to bomb Yemen. Yemen is, I mean, those people are suffering over there. They're suffering. How long have I been talking about that Rand Paul speech that's always sticking in my mind? Sticks in my head all the time. I can't believe this bastard is dropping bombs on them with Saudi Arabia.
Tank.
There's someone in one of these cars, they blow up. That can happen. That becomes murder, or worse, terrorism plus. And I know that on January 20th, the president signed into law, through an executive order, restoring the death penalty. Do you think this sort of thing?
Okay, now let's talk about that. The last death penalty that they did, right, was a guy who had no previous criminal history, mind you. And it took 19 minutes for him to die. It was the first one, like they hadn't done the death penalty in Alabama for a while. But they did on this guy. 19 minutes it took for him to die. Can you imagine? 19 minutes.
And I hate to think it. People leave their children and pets in cars. I mean, you don't know. This is deadly, dangerous stuff these liberal protesters are playing with.
Yes, it is, Harris. And what I can tell you is that President Trump condemns this violence, and he is determined to restore law and order in our country, and he will ensure that
by putting a kill bag over people's heads that he doesn't like, for it to suck the oxygen out of the air and leave it with nitrogen gas. And it'd take 19 minutes of them thrashing around for them to die.
The great condemner of violence, Donald Trump. He wants to restore the country to law and order. Meanwhile, all of his nut job supporters go and take a shit in the Capitol and beat up cops, and he pardons them. Give me a break. And Fox News, is your audience, did they sit around in the fetal position scared to death, drinking, probably their nutrition shakes, substitute a meal shake, and they probably have a resting heart rate of 150, 160 with that woman sitting there telling them that people are going to get the death penalty? This is histrionics. This is an entertainment channel, and shame on Rupert Murdoch for the destruction that he has done.
Who's Nicole Kessinger?
Done to democracy. Just as an aside, what self-respecting Black woman sits there and supports absolute racists? She's seen the reports of what the Department of Defense is doing, and they are removing any accolades or any positive thing that military members that are Black did for the military. And I want to remind everybody,
or women,
that during
another plane crash today, that they've actually, there was almost two. One was a military aircraft, and the other one was a commercial, and they just narrowly missed. Oh, really? Okay. They just narrowly missed hitting each other, but another plane crashed into a house
segregation. Black soldiers would go off and fight for this country and then come back here and get beat up on and bullied by
Yes, but white soldiers. That happened to white soldiers too. I mean, let's not forget that brothers in arms are not supposed to see color, and you know, I remember I wasn't alive then. Oh, what do you mean? Tanger. It was the same area where the other plane had a crash? No way. Did you fact check that though? Did you fact check it? Peg Bundy died? I liked her. Isn't that crazy? And another military one as well. And that's crazy.
asshole white people, and she knows that. So what the fuck is she doing working for a bunch of racists? I mean, that just grosses me out. Fuck you, Rupert Murdoch.
The whole thing is ridiculous. Harris Faulkner, she sat on that stage at the National Association of Black Journalists and watched Donald Trump be so racist and ugly, and she still sits up there and she
Oh
kisses
my
his ass,
God,
and she
and
still has.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. Did you see her? What she was saying to that woman reporter that was from like England or something. Oh my God. She was like, I don't want to talk to you. You're not American. Yeah, Katie Seagal, right? That's who played Peg Bundy, yeah.
Has this lying liar who lies a lot, Caroline Levitt, who I cannot stand, who they've done an average. She lies like 36 times every press conference. Every day she goes out and at least tells 36 lies. I mean, come on. And they're not even believable. She has no knowledge about economics. And to sit around and act like somebody blowing up a Tesla is an act of terror in the Trump administration, I mean, it's a property crime. Okay, it's a property crime. It is not an act of terrorism to blow up a Tesla. I'm not condoning it. I don't think it's right, but it is certainly.
I really don't think anybody would be blowing up Teslas. I think it's only people who would do that is someone who would profit from it.
Not an act of terror. And then throwing out the death penalty, you're right. It's histrionics. It's foolish. It makes the people that say it and the people that watch it dumber than we already thought they were. And that was dumb.
Yeah, and they just sit around in fear all the time. Like these Fox News viewers must just be scared constantly. There's a caravan of immigrants. There's trans drag queens trying to, overturn the American government. Kids are going to school and getting their wieners whacked off, and they just sit around their resting heart rate. Go fucking live your life and turn off.
I know. I can't believe he put on the White House website that Biden spent millions on transgender mice. Oh my God. It was transgenic so that they could, do certain tests on them for, curing cancer and other diseases. They had changed their genetics or something, but not transgender mice. Just like the other lie about all the condoms bought for, for Palestine. The shit is lies. Those are lies.
Fox, it's pathetic. All right, next up, Tesla is, as you can imagine, the books are not kosher. Now, let me put up this headline that's coming out that's not getting enough attention. Tesla accounting raises red flags as report shows $1.4 billion is missing.
$1.4 billion missing. I wonder if he's paying someone off to fucking... Yeah, because, think about it. A lot of, people that they get put in prison, we don't check and see, to see if they stayed in prison. They could easily give them plastic surgery and change their name and say, okay, thanks for taking the rap. Now you're out. Here's $1 billion.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but hypothetically, if I were, I would say that maybe some of that money could have gone to make a pact with a man that was probably going to go to prison. And then maybe the owner of this company was probably going to go to prison. You give him $300 million so that you can make sure that you both don't go to prison, and then you game the algorithm of this Nazi website that you run. Also, you've got to cover, allegedly, according to that one tweeter, he's out there blowing up his own cars, trying to blame it on liberals, which is exactly what they did at January 6th. Right. They tried to blame it on Antifa, which, funny enough,
Which I don't know why people would dislike people who are anti-fascism, because that's what Antifa means.
if you follow that logic, Trump pardoned Antifa. Right. But I just think that's pretty interesting.
Elon Musk is no doubt every bit as corrupt as Donald
You
Trump.
see what
And
she's saying there? She's saying that they were blaming Antifa for those January 6 riots, but he pardoned them all. So by their logic, they'd be pardoning Antifa. Like Elon Musk was on an interview too, and he said, I thought the Democratic Party was known for, their sympathy and compassion. Okay, Elon, then why are you on the other side? What does that say about you, motherfucker? You know?
we know Donald Trump cooks his books because he got a judgment for $400 million in New York because he is so corrupt in the way he runs his businesses. So I have zero doubt that Elon Musk is up to his eyeballs in corruption at Tesla and X and everywhere else he goes.
Okay, next up, we have a clip from Bill Burr, who just in random conversation on Tonight Show.
I mean, the guy has 14 kids. Like, Elon, come on. And he's not with any of them except that little one he carries around like a shield.
He just throws in some mild Elon Musk bashing. And I want every Democratic person, every person that believes in democracy to turn into a full-time Elon Musk hater. When you're at the coffee shop, when you are walking down the street, when you're having small talk with anybody, just throw in some mild Elon Musk bashing for America. Watch this masterclass and just slipping it right in.
Positive time, Jimmy.
Yeah, it really is.
Billionaires are not happy having $1 billion. Why does Elon Musk dress like he just... All right, thank you.
Isn't that crazy, though? Like, none of us will ever even know what it is to have $1 billion. And these people have over $100 billion. And it's just not fucking enough for them. This motherfucker wants to steal your Social Security. Something that we have all worked for and depended on.
God. Why does Elon Musk dress like he just got out of a Hot Topic? I am so sick of that guy trying to rewrite his origin story like he was Matthew McConaughey pulling into the high school. It's like you were a nerd, nobody bangs you, and now you have hair plugs in your laminated face. No, and everybody is afraid of these nerds. I don't get it. My whole life.
Now, this video, I haven't seen. It was from 2 hours ago, this one.
Use this tool to weld loose railings.
And
It
I
takes
don't
just
know,
2 seconds
if
to
this
weld
is
a spot. And within 5 minutes,
credible
the railing can be
source.
sturdier
I
than
don't
when
watch
it was
this
newly
channel
installed.
here, so I'm just saying.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So something big just happened. Elon Musk is stepping down from his government role. Yeah, that's right. The same Elon
If I
Musk
had
behind
if
Tesla
I
and
had a
SpaceX.
research assistant in here, I would ask somebody to fact check that and Google it to see if Elon Musk is stepping down from DOGE.
Has been leading a special task force inside the U.S. government, aiming to overhaul how it runs. Now that he's leaving, a lot of people are wondering, what does this mean for the rest of us? Especially when it comes to Social Security.
Is there
and the
anybody who
government.
wants to check that for me that's in here? Google it if Elon Musk stepped down from DOGE.
Services we all rely on? Well, here's something you might not have heard. During a short time in office, Musk claims his team saved the government $130 billion. That sounds good on paper, but it's caused some major ripple effects.
Thank you, Chandra. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because I don't watch this channel. It just popped up. I thought it looked interesting, but I haven't fact checked it.
Especially for folks trying to get help from Social Security. So today we're going to talk about what his departure could mean for regular people like you and me. Stay with me, because understanding what's really going on here can help you stay informed and avoid getting caught in the mess. And if you find these kinds of conversations helpful, go ahead and hit subscribe. It really helps us build a smarter and more supportive community here. Now, let's talk about how this all started. Earlier this year, President Trump brought Elon Musk on board to lead the Department of Government Efficiency.
It said that they fact-checked it, and it actually showed less than 1% of payments were actually improper.
Or DOGE. It wasn't a traditional government agency. It was more like a startup inside the government, full of engineers, business leaders, and people from the tech world. They had one big goal, which was to cut $1 trillion from the federal budget. And they hit the ground running. Contracts were canceled, government jobs were slashed, programs were shut down, and they even started.
You know, you just don't do that kind of stuff without a plan. He says that he has planned to step down at the end of May because his job will be done. God damn. God damn. See, they're going to drain everything. Somebody's got to get them out of there. They got to get them out. They're going to drain it and we'll never find it. It'll be gone. It'll just be gone. We'll be at ground zero. And them two motherfuckers will disappear. I'm telling you. They got to do something. Because he never said, I mean, come on. Oh, for, 5 months to fucking do what he's claiming. Yeah, nah. They're going to rob it. They're going to rob it. They're going to drain it out.
Started selling off government assets. One thing that really grabbed attention was the $830 million online survey funded by the Parks Department. Musk's team flagged that as wasteful and shut it down. But here's where it starts to get complicated. One of the biggest targets of these reforms was the Social Security Administration. DOGE claimed that billions were being wasted due to fraud and inefficiencies. They talked about benefits going to people who had already passed away or duplicate payments. That's the kind of story that gets people fired up. But the data tells a different.
I feel like I see more people having trouble getting on Social Security or disability than, making bank off it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that him and this other guy, they both said the same thing, that the people who will complain about it if they don't get their check, their Social Security check or disability check, are the people who are guilty of being fraudulent. Ain't that some shit? Almost like, when they would dunk witches into they weren't witches, they were just women that they were accusing of being witches. And if they drowned, they were innocent. And if they lived, they were guilty and were going to get burned at the stake. So it didn't make a difference.
Different story. The SSA's own inspector general found that less than 1% of payments were actually improper. And most of those were just overpayments to living people, often due to system delays or human error. So the whole idea that the system was full of fraud, that was not really backed by the numbers. But that didn't stop DOGE from moving forward. And that's where a lot of people started feeling the effects. During the staff cuts, Social Security offices
Now they're banning anybody who didn't vote Republican out of those meetings that they have. Because he can't take being booed.
became overwhelmed. The website crashed multiple times in a short span. People trying to apply for benefits, get help, or even just ask a question were stuck in long waits or left without answers. It's stressful enough to deal with Social Security when everything's working right. This made things worse. So now Musk is
probably because that motherfucker messed with the computers.
leaving. Some people are celebrating, thinking maybe things will go back to normal. But others are worried. What if the damage has already been done? And who's going to take over now? So you see, when changes this big happen so quickly, they leave a mess behind.
Mhm.
Thousands of government workers were
He's
let
just draining everything. He's just draining it all.
go, and now courts are ordering many of them to be reinstated. Judges even blocked DOGE from accessing internal Social Security databases, saying they were looking through personal data without enough oversight.
Yeah, and they just did it anyway because they knew they were gonna fucking almost like dine and dash. They fucking knew it. They knew it. That's why they were breaking those laws because they're just gonna leave.
That's a serious privacy concern, especially for people who rely on Social Security.
And all those fucking oafs that he put in office are gonna be left holding the bag.
And while some parts of Musk's vision focused on modernizing outdated systems, like digitizing retirement records still
I
stored
mean,
in
they're still talking like we voted this fucking guy in. We didn't vote Musk in.
literal cave in Pennsylvania. Other parts went too far, too fast. The systems couldn't keep up, and neither could the people. Now I get it. We all want government to run better, to be more efficient, less wasteful. Nobody wants their tax dollars being misused. But when reforms make it harder for someone's grandma to get her check or a disabled person to get answers, that's not fixing the system. That's breaking it in a different way. It's also worth
Also, with the whole, you know, COVID-19 dilemma there, you know? I bet he did. I bet he did. I mean, I can't believe that those people who did that whole texting out the plans for the strike on Yemen didn't get fired. They should have been fired. Like, they should have been fired right away. And Trump was like, no, I don't know anything about it, like, at first. And at first he was like, no, I don't know. It's like, what do you mean you don't know? Well, I don't get briefed on it. What are you talking about? You don't know? What do you mean?
thinking about how this affects the broader idea of trust. Trust in government programs, trust in leadership, trust that someone is looking out for you if you hit hard times. When Social Security gets caught in the crossfire of political experiments, it makes a lot of people nervous, and understandably so. Another thing to consider is the uncertainty moving forward. Musk says he's confident most of the reforms will stick after he leaves, but a lot
that just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. They never said, oh, he's only going to be doing this for 5 months. They never said that.
depends on who takes over, how Congress responds, and what the public demands. Will we see more lawsuits? Will programs be restored? Or will some of the cutbacks remain in place? Speaking of that, the bigger question here
Or will there be no money left? And will we be at a security risk big time? Big time.
is, what does this mean for you? If you're someone who relies on Social Security now or expects to in the future, it's a good time to check in on your records. Make sure your information is correct. If you've had delays recently or trouble reaching someone, you're not alone. That's been happening across the country. And while the hope is that service will improve once DOGE is out of the picture, there's no guarantee. Also,
if knowing all this, why are they just letting, I mean, this is too much to just, be up in the air about.
if you're not on Social Security yet, but you're planning for retirement, this might be a wake-up call. It's a reminder that while Social Security is a major part of retirement for many Americans,
You don't see them
your
saying they're going to stop taking it out of people's checks, though. They're not saying we're going to stop taking it out of your checks. Don't see them saying that. Ain't that some shit?
your only plan. Having a backup, like personal savings or retirement accounts, can help you stay in control no matter what changes come down the line. Also, keep an eye on how this affects other government services. The Department of Veterans Affairs, Medicare, and federal housing assistance were also being reviewed by DOGE, though not always in the spotlight. If you or your loved ones use these services,
Terrible.
you might start noticing longer wait times or changes in eligibility. It's all part of the same wave of restructuring. And here's something I think is really important. When we talk about saving money, especially on a national level, it can sound like it's all just numbers.
Saving money? That's our fucking money. We entrusted them to save it for us. So they could, take the fucking interest off it and only give us 50% of it as it is anyway, Uh, I'm not saying just my $2,000. I'm talking about the entire country's. No, but really, Swiss's Green Aisha, do you see him talking about stop and taking it out of Social Security? If they're all fucked up, right, then shouldn't that money go to the people who were giving it in there? Because that was their money that they were making these mistakes with. So then if they think it's that messed up of a thing, then they shouldn't be taking our money out anymore. Well, the fraud also includes them taking money out of our checks if it's going to fraud.
Every number is a person, a real human being with needs, with a story, and with a life that depends on programs like Social Security. So when reforms are made, they have to be done with care. Otherwise, the people who need help the most end up paying the highest price. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed any changes when dealing with Social Security recently? Do you think the government should be run more like a business? Or do you worry that approach overlooks the human side of
They were trying to say loads of people were getting paid that had died. I mean, I really find that hard to believe. That's, you know, and you know what else I find hard to believe is that the death benefit has not changed after all these years. I mean, for years. It's still only $255 towards a funeral that you get. Not even the whole month's benefit. $255. Isn't that disgusting?
public service? Leave a comment below and let's talk about it. And if this conversation helped you understand what's going on a little better, consider sharing it with someone who might be affected. We're all in this together. And the more we understand the full picture, the better prepared we'll be to make smart decisions going forward. Thanks for spending some time with me today.
I think
Keep asking
arresting the
questions,
guy would
keep paying
be
attention, and take care of yourself and your loved ones.
arresting him would be the best decision. That's what I think. That's just my opinion. Especially when he wants privacy, but he doesn't want to give anybody else privacy. Well, I'm saying it is a business. It is a business, government. It is a business. But it doesn't mean you're supposed to, I mean, certain things should profit, but Social Security, as it stands, the rents are so high now, people can't even pay rent with, with what they're getting on Social Security anymore. Where did they say millions of dollars? Well, I would say that should be the people who were in charge of, the accounting should be the ones to have to sit there and explain if there's any, they should be audited. Just audit these departments then. Audit them. Don't break them down. Audit them. They shouldn't be using the Social Security money anyway. That's the bottom line on that. Now, if somebody wants to fact check this too, but I do believe it to be correct, but if you do want to fact check it, you can.
I'm just kidding.
After you listen to it,
To Voxable Casita.
at whatever point.
Yes, Zeus. Do you catch this one? That was in the utterly insane executive order Trump signed yesterday.
The thought police are out in full force now, and I've got multiple examples to show you. It seems like Trump has realized that his executive orders are...
I mean, this fucker's signing these executive orders every day. Like, who the fuck does he think he is? Well, yeah, the congressional hearings, all they ever do is end up arguing in all of them. It's ridiculous. And that Marjorie Taylor Greene, I do not know why she hasn't been fired.
Incredible.
She's just not. It's not appropriate. She isn't appropriate.
Popular. As now he's signing these behind closed doors, you may not have noticed that he signed an executive order that sends the vice president after the woke zoos. Zoos and museums.
Yep, he's going after museums. I mean, what's he gonna do? Start selling off the fucking items in the museums or something? Yeah, but then they just say anyway, you know.
As the Trump administration vows to uproot the race-driven, divisive, corrosive ideology, something the rest of us just know as the truth. Here's Chris Hayes on MSNBC breaking some of this down.
If there is an organizing principle of MAGA governance, is that they do not like anything they cannot control. And that is the opposite of a free society. To them, you will obey or you will be hunted. And every day there's a new example. As they just try to remake everything that is part of a free society, not under their control, down to museums and zoos. Yes, zoos. Do you catch this one? That was in the utterly insane executive.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Wild wisdom. You gotta Google stuff too. I don't know why that bitch is in there. She's so inappropriate.
Order Trump signed yesterday, directing Vice President J.D. Vance to crack down on the Smithsonian Institution by removing improper ideology from its museums.
Can you fact check that, Tanger? Please. Is that really an executive order that he wants Vance to break down the Smithsonian or something? I mean, that's so crazy.
Education and research centers and the zoo. J.D. Vance is now going to patrol the zoo for improper ideology. Congratulations, Commissar. You've got the zoo portfolio. Yeah, it's absurd and it's un-American. And I don't think most people like this. In fact, if you look at the polling and you look at the protests right now and you look at the town halls.
What does he want to do with the museum? That doesn't even make sense. So, okay, Evie and Swiss green eyeshadow. Explain that to me.
Americans are waking up to that. They don't like it.
While we were all distracted with Signalgate, Trump made maybe one of his most fascist moves ever. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic when I say this executive order is Trump's attempt to rewrite history. They're trying to claim that after 2020, when the Confederate statues were coming down harder than Elon after a ketamine bender, that anti-American history was injected into these institutions. And now they're somehow undoing that. But in reality, what that means is going through and removing references to women, people of color, and trans people who have been a part of American history since the beginning.
Isn't that crazy? To erase that. I mean, I thought it was bad even when they were taking down the statues and stuff. In my opinion, I did.
I'll read just a little section of this executive order so you can see how batshit bonkers it is. First off, this executive order is called Restoring Truth and Sanity to American History, which is hilarious because it's insanely untrue. Once widely respected as a symbol of American excellence and a global...
True. That's what he called it. Restoring sanity. It's not true. I've seen more than one video running on about that. Are you sure? Okay, so we'll skip on that one. Thank you for checking.
Signal gate is important because it's the first opportunity for a crack within the Trump administration. And it really does not appear that there is one, but it is putting them on their back heels. Had this happened in the first Trump administration, there would be leaks. People on the call, people who thought the call was a bad idea, people who are fighting against these people in the administration, but they're all in the same sort of crony wavelength.
I can't believe they're like acting like that was no big deal.
Snap your W-2 and file your taxes 100% free. Plus, get your biggest refund. File free now. Roughly.
Well, I'm so sorry to have to bring you this news today, but at this point, we need to stop asking whether the MAGA base will ever turn on Donald Trump and just start accepting the fact that they won't ever. Trump could sell American citizens into slavery, cancel elections, declare martial law, invade Canada. His ardent, hardcore followers would say, he must have had a good reason to do it. Let's give him.
I believe that. I believe that. Because they wouldn't want to admit they're wrong, because some of them are like that. So.
Benefit of the doubt. So we no longer are dealing with a political movement. We're dealing with a cult. Trump is functionally infallible now. And we've spoken to cult experts from the fields of psychology and sociology.
We know how that is, right?
To understand how cults work and how the cult leaders work. And Trump is now a golden god. It is sort of like a Kim Jong-un with a red baseball hat and a suit that's too big and Facebook groups instead of statues and military parades. Every action he takes, no matter how extreme or authoritarian or outright nuts, is immediately justified or ignored.
Now, this guy I watch all the time and I find him credible, you know.
Ignored or reframed as strength by his followers, which are really common characteristics of cults. Run through some of the examples. He's been selling innocent migrants into literal work camps in El Salvador. He's arresting green card holders.
Is he really getting money for them? Get the fuck out.
For speech. He's blowing up departments of government with no authority. He's ignoring court orders. He is shaking up the economy, to put it lightly, with tariffs and threats to our allies. He's floating, exiting NATO and openly siding with Russia, and really nothing from the base. Now, I know that you're probably hearing me say this and thinking, aren't some Republicans turning on him? Because, David, you've been showing us the videos of the town halls where Republicans seem really angry. Didn't we see fireworks there? Yes, we've seen the grumbling. We've seen retirees shouting at their members of Congress over Social Security cuts that they fear and voters demanding answers about health care and inflation, but they're not really turning on Trump. They're mad at their local representatives. They're mad at bureaucracy. They're mad at Congress generically, or maybe.
Oh, I can't get over that guy, fucking Elon, behind him on the stage, jumping up and down. Jesus Christ.
They're even mad at Elon Musk. But you think they'd vote for a Democrat over Trump, even given this anger? They still, in many cases, see Trump as an outsider fighting the system, even though Trump is the system at this point in time. It is a classic scapegoat tactic. The pain is real, but the blame.
They're not planning on staying. They're destroying it and they're going to leave, and that's it. Or collateral damage.
Blame is being misdirected at somebody else. And so as long as Donald Trump keeps selling the illusion that he's not the one in charge of the mess, that was Elon, that was your local member of Congress, that was a Democrat governor, as they like to say, they're going to keep eating it up. And if and until they draw a straight line from Trump's policies to their suffering, to their wallet, to their house, none of this counts as breaking from the cult. If tomorrow Trump started deporting American citizens with no trial, there are cultists who would shrug and say,
until they had it, till they were coming for them.
They probably had it coming until they are the ones deported, at which point they would say, I never thought that they meant me, which we've seen a number of examples of. If Trump started arresting judges or said, no midterms, it's just things are too crazy, we're going to skip the midterms, or use the military to round up political opponents, would the hardcore base turn on him? I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it, because I just don't know why they're not going in and arresting them for treason. That's what they need to do. I mean, we all know that we've never seen someone act like Marjorie Taylor Greene in the position she's in. We've never seen that, ever, 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 ever. And yet she's still got her job. Can you imagine any of us acting like that with any job? we wouldn't have our job.
Think so, because they are in a psychological prison called authoritarian loyalty. You can't shame them with hypocrisy and double standards. We've seen that. You can't appeal to values they abandoned years ago because the values have been abandoned. You can't even reason with them because reason requires a line that can be crossed. And this is a cult that erased that line a very long time ago. And yet, this is like the one thread of hope. Not everybody who voted for Trump is in the cult. And I know that
Yeah, we're not saying everybody.
a lot of you are probably hearing this and saying, well, then it's over. Like, I mean, that's it. Not everybody who voted for Trump is a Trump cultist. There are standard issue, anti-government conservatives, disengaged. Maybe some are vaguely racist, but I don't know. You know, they voted for the guy who said he'd fix the economy, and maybe now they're going to get crushed by it. And what Trump is doing, gutting many of our programs, which could lead to cuts in benefits, threatening Medicare, talking about fraud and Social Security, all this stuff, stomping on the First Amendment, saying we're going to look at social media histories of people here legally. I don't think
even every state that's allowing these, you know, no more like cap on rents and stuff. What do they think? What do they think people are going to have the money to buy stuff with? Where do they think they're going to get it from? People aren't getting fucking paid for like that, you know?
This stuff will sit well forever with everybody. The retiring crowd is going to probably say, we don't like this. Those are some of the folks we're seeing at the Republican town halls. They want their checks. They may not care about authoritarianism, but they do care about their money. And maybe this is where some of the backlash could start. The hardcore base may never wake up, but if their bank accounts start getting drained and their benefits
I
are
got
getting
another
slashed,
speaker.
there is a group that might.
The speaker, I think, has shit the bed. And I love my speaker. My poor speaker. Holy.
None of this means Trump is unstoppable. That's the main takeaway. The cult is very loud. They're very angry. They're very loyal. They'll never turn on him. But it's not everyone. I would argue it's not even most people, because the majority of Americans are not in the MAGA base. The real danger here is when people start thinking it's all inevitable. Nobody can break the spell. It's not worth showing up.
That's the danger. That when people become complacent and think, oh, well, what are we going to be able to do about it? There's 1% of them, 99% of us.
Even try, that's really dangerous. That's what they want. But we know that with enough turnout and enough pressure and enough focus on the real material consequences of the policy, risks of losing healthcare or retirement benefits or stability, we can outnumber them at the ballot box. That's the upside. We've done it before.
At the ballot box, we don't have that kind of time. We don't have that time. It takes a click of a fucking... anybody see The Beekeeper? I mean, it takes a press of a button to drain somebody's fucking bank accounts and everything.
This is a demigod, and they will never abandon him. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out.
Well, you know what, David? You shouldn't be calling him that, because you calling him that makes him feel like that. Nobody should be calling him that.
Gate.
Not one person should be calling him that.
Art is the best in the world. At the end of the week, you will be an entirely different.
New fallout from the Trump administration group chat revealing attack plans on Yemen that included a journalist.
I don't
Scrutiny is
know why
focused
they're
on Vice
fucking
President.
doing that to Yemen. What the fuck, man? That fucking pisses me off. And I don't know, you know, like if people who have been watchers of my channel for a long time recollect how much I speak about Yemen. I mean, the shit is really fucking pissing me off. Wicked bad about Yemen, like really bad.
President J.D. Vance, who did not support the strikes in Yemen, writing, "I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now." But the attack went forward anyway, and one MSNBC opinion piece says what it reveals is a cavalier attitude toward new open-ended bombardment campaigns. Joining me now is Democratic Representative Ted Lieu of California.
It makes me
He sits on the
sick
House Foreign
because,
Affairs Committee. Good to see you, my friend. Before
I
we
didn't
get
know
to
anything about Yemen until 6 years ago, 7 years ago, when I was just sitting at my friend's house and the TV was on in the background and Rand Paul. And I'm not a huge fan of Rand Paul or anything, but he was pleading. He was pleading with people, you know? These people they're dying, they're starving to death. I mean, and it just never left my head how there just seemed like he was pleading to an empty seats.
I am not broadly speaking, a big fan of Senator Paul Rand. I think his ideas, Rand Paul, or Ayn Rand, for that matter, or Paul Rand, or Paul
I really wish my speaker was working better. I mean, children are starving to death there. They're not letting them get any food. And they're already dead now. He said that they would be dead within 2 weeks. I mean, they're already dead 7 years ago, and they're still fucking attacking these people.
I think libertarianism is fanciful and ridiculous and silly. That doesn't mean that I don't have moments where I agree with people who are libertarians. And this is one of them. Rand Paul spoke on the Senate floor about a bill, or I should say a resolution, which was co-sponsored with Chris Murphy of Connecticut and Al Franken of Minnesota, to disapprove of a 500 million some odd deal that the U.S. has with Saudi Arabia. And it came pretty close, which is encouraging. But here's Rand Paul speaking about the implications of this bill.
Just fucking gross. Why are we fucking doing this to them? I don't understand it.
So remember, Saudi Arabia, in addition to us still engaging in a drone war which has less constraints than even the one that Barack Obama was waging in terms of Yemen, constraints on protecting civilians. We are also selling weapon systems and supporting Saudi Arabia, which is engaged in it's hard to call it a war in some ways because it's so one-sided, but it is a war with Yemen that is causing incredible suffering. Here's Rand Paul talking about it.
I can't even imagine.
How bad is it in Yemen? 17 million people live on the edge of starvation. Some, like Ali, have already died. What are people saying about it? They say that the humanitarian crisis in Yemen may be worse than Syria. Let me repeat that because nobody in America is listening to this. Everybody's paying attention to some silly show trials and silly stuff going on in committees. Nobody's talking about this at all. They say it is worse than Syria. Millions of people have fled Syria. Hundreds of thousands have died. And people are now predicting Yemen may be worse. One refugee.
I can't believe the whole Yemen thing is going on still. And this particular thing that Rand Paul was doing here, it has stuck in my head ever since the day he was doing it. And I've always been like, what about Yemen? And most of us didn't even know.
Refugee group said this, that the impending famine in Yemen may reach biblical proportions. Think about that. It's astounding what's going on there, and it's being done without your permission, but with your weapons. So today I will force a vote with Senator Murphy's help, who's been a prime mover in this, to tell you the truth, and done a great job in bringing people together. But we will force this vote for these children in Yemen because we have a chance today to stop the carnage.
He's got pictures of little kids. He said she's already dead.
We have a chance to tell Saudi Arabia we've had enough. The question is, should we give money or arms to Saudi Arabia at all? What has Saudi Arabia done over the last 30 years? They have been the #1 exporter of jihadist philosophy, the #1 exporter of let's hate America, let's hate Judeo-Christian ethic, let's hate the Judeo-Christian tradition. It's coming from Saudi Arabia. They teach it in the schools in our country. They teach it in the schools in Indonesia. They corrupt.
I never forgot this. I never forgot this. Never. You know, they want to be pissed at Biden about the Ukraine, and fucking Trump with his, they're both bombing each other. Shut the fuck up, dude.
Corrupt the religion of Islam throughout the world, and we're going to give them weapons? I think it's a huge, huge mistake.
And just to be clear, obviously, what's going on in Yemen is a civil war, but also largely a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran. Frankly, we see so much of.
And we just fucking bombed them. And we just bombed them. And he literally said, Trump literally said, and any more bombs that fall on Yemen, we're going to blame Iran. They just don't give a fuck about the people there. They don't give a fuck about the people anywhere.
What's going on in the Middle East? Saudis just have a tremendous amount of cash and ability to fund these type of things, and apparently to buy weapons from us to propagate them. Hi, folks. Sam Cedar here. We still need your help on our Patreon page, YouTube.
They just don't care. And you can tell because when people think I'm going to do commentary or drama, there'll be 30 people in here. And when they know it comes to the future of America, it goes down to 12. We're fucked. We are fucked.
Please
We're fucked.
sign the petition and urge Congress to make assault rifles.
To the Signal matter, I'm curious how big a deal is this report that Pete Hegseth's wife, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, attended at least 2 meetings with foreign military leaders where, quote, sensitive information was discussed. What's your reaction to that?
Thank you, Alex, for your question. Let me first say that Secretary Hegseth must resign. He texted secret war plans to a journalist, and when
yeah, I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? The guy's that can't be.
confronted about that, he lied to American people and said it was a hoax when the White House had already authenticated the text messages.
Holy shit, he did. He said it was a hoax. This guy's got to fucking go.
Now we have this story about Pete Hegseth's wife. I think reporters need to ask, what exactly was discussed at this meeting? Was it highly sensitive? And did she have a security clearance? And what was her purpose of being at the meeting? And we need to know more facts. And if the White House doesn't provide that, then that raises all sorts of red flags.
Okay, true. And let's get to the Signal matter. And again, as you've just said, you've called for Hegseth to resign. But beyond the security breach itself, the administration has tried to downplay it. Hegseth saying no classified intelligence was shared. Others in military circles strongly disagree. And some have suggested that Hegseth may have actually declassified the information after the fact. So what does this incident say about how this administration approaches foreign and military policy?
Every national security professional has basically said these would have been classified. Hegseth texted the exact time and date of the launches of military aircraft. There are stories now of military pilots being very upset and angry because this put their lives at risk. So the fact that Hegseth is still denying that he texted secret war plans to
I
journalists
just
is
don't
another reason.
understand. Like, so if somebody is drunk and they hit somebody and kill somebody, they go to jail. But this guy isn't.
He should resign. He still hasn't accepted responsibility. He still hasn't said, I'm sorry. He does not understand the gravity of what he did. He must go.
Let me show you what happened at a town hall held by a Republican last night. Let's watch.
I would demand the immediate resignation of Pete Hegseth, Michael Waltz, and the rest of the group.
That's our Republican. And that's their fucking representative. There's, that's got to stop. When, the majority of people are booing the fucking people, then they need to go.
Well, apparently that first constituent agrees with your position there, but are you hearing any of your Republican colleagues, privately at least, suggesting that Hegseth must
Privately?
go?
Who gives a fuck about privately? Who gives a fuck about privately?
Or are they resolute in their support, like the Congresswoman that we saw there from Indiana?
So far, I haven't seen Republicans show any courage and standing up for what is right. If this had been a
And they all
Democratic
think
administration,
they're the biggest, baddest people too. They'll argue with you, they'll argue with you, they'll argue with you, but they won't stand up for the things that they know are right.
would have been calling for the resignation of the Secretary of Defense.
Oh, yeah.
This is simply indefensible conduct. And again, this reckless action by Secretary Hegseth put military lives potentially at risk. It endangers our national security, and it makes our allies not want to share classified information with us.
And that is something serious. Let me get to Mike Waltz, who, yes, has taken responsibility for the check, but then has also attacked Jeffrey Goldberg and accused him of somehow
bunch of morons there.
Sneaking into the chat. Take a listen to this.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but of all the people out there, somehow this guy who has lied about the president, who has lied to Gold Star families, lied to their attorneys, and gone to Russia hoax, gone to just all kinds of...
Dude, have all that stuff right there in your hands and fucking prove it. Because if you don't have proof of that in your hands right now, we only see what we're seeing, and you motherfuckers need to go.
To lie and smear the president of the United States, and he's the one that somehow gets on somebody's contact and then gets sucked into this group.
Hang on. Somebody's contact. Isn't
Which
he the
is-
one that added him to the group?
Yeah, he is.
Mike Waltz has not accepted responsibility, as you just saw. And Jeffrey Goldberg, he put out all the screenshots of the text. People can read it for themselves. And one of them
Ain't that some shit?
specifically says, Mike Waltz added you to the Signal chat. And it's right there in the screenshot. So Mike Waltz just needs to accept responsibility.
The motherfucker. Oh my God. And he won't fucking say, oh my God.
And own up to it. And what he just said clearly shows he still has not accepted responsibility. And for anyone who's used Signal, you can't add yourself to a chat. The person organizing chat has to add you. So clearly the Trump administration did that. And it looks like it was Michael Waltz who did it.
Ladies, pay close attention. You're using salt.
And yet Hillary Clinton got fucking steamrolled for a couple of emails. I'd like to know how many innocent civilians died in that strike.
The wrong way. If your goal is to lose belly fat, you need to use it the right way. Today, I'm here to teach you the new salt recipe for fast weight loss, or as some people call it, homemade Manjaro. Just mix salt with 3 ingredients that I bet you already have at home. Together,
I think it's a real shame. I do. I think it's a real shame that I don't know, man.
Take a while those songs from underground streaming. Try to do things. Just you know, say the freedom we've been fighting for. Was something more. Okay. So no, that's the answer. Sat there. God bless you. Wait. Oh. Down, down, the
That's why, see? Because you come in and you're trying to fucking create that kind of drama, secular. And right now, you know, I've got to laugh at, like, Crystal, who's calling herself blonde patriot. You're not a fuck. There's not a patriotic thing about you, Crystal. Not one fucking thing. Not one fucking thing. Who in your family served in the military? E-beggars, you got proof that somebody in your family served? Janelle? Swiss? Munchie? Nah. I don't even like your fucking name that you used. You know that, secular? I don't even like the fucking name you're using. What did you do in the military, secular? Anything? Anything? They want to sit there, they want to talk about my family. You know, my father was a decorated gunner's mate in World War II. My mother had relatives that my mother lived in England. God bless Her Majesty's Royal Air Force. Because we'd all be being run by Hitler if it wasn't for them and Winston Churchill. But these fucking assholes want to sit there. And the only time they show any kind of patriotism is if they can negate mine. That's it. So the only time they want to talk about how religious they are is if they want to negate my faith and how I feel about that. They don't feel strongly or passionate about anything. I wanted to do what the ladies, and I've had it. We're trying to say to do. No, don't worry about it, Diane. He's just such a fucking troublemaker. I just, you know, I have no time for that right now because I do care about the country. And when these fucking assholes got no more milk money from Trump for her, shut the fuck up, Crystal. You fucking dumb bitch. I can't wait till you find out that it's gonna fucking affect you. These fucking assholes who think it's not gonna affect them, it fucking is. It sure as shit is. It sure as shit is. They don't give a fuck if you voted. He said it himself. I don't need you guys' votes. He said it himself. He said it himself. You're disgusting. Yeah, Patricia, there's nothing fucking godly about you. Nothing. Having fucking a friendship with somebody like Munchie and acting like I'm some kind of way. Everybody thinks Tisha's so fucking great after she said she was going to sit on my dead father's face and make me call her mommy. You fucking kidding me right now? That's dirt. But because it shows that those people are all just pussy cowards and can't do the right thing. They've got to stick with a bunch of fucking assholes like they all are. Birds of a fucking feather flock together.
Choose to live big.
When I had it to myself, I didn't want to around. Those pretty faces always make you stand out in a crowd. Someone picked you from the bunch, that was all it took. Oh, now it's much too late for me to take a second look. Ooh, baby, give me one more chance. Won't you do that to me? Oh, darling.
Now, if you are 40, let me tell you, that 17 years difference between us, man, you missed a whole lot of good times. Because all it took was about, people above, my age, and, there is some young people, younger people who were raised by people who taught them about traditions and values and stuff like that, even though they were seeping away in society. And then there was other people who just kept up with the Joneses and just did things to look a certain kind of way. But I think the reason why some of these people aren't as passionate as, older people is because, but there is a lot of good young people like Adam Mockler. There's a lot, Luke Beasley, people who are out there, they're young people trying to fight against what's going on. What? You never gave anybody peace of mind. Secular. And you've been doing this. Fucking shut up, secular. Look how many fucking troll accounts you have. Like, shut the fuck up. And you are our age. It's like, what raised you? I don't even know, man. Fucking gross. And then these bitches went on to go, oh, judging people isn't okay. Sure fucking is. Can't tell people you lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas, birds of a feather flock together. Those are judgy fucking comments. Those are judgy comments. You don't have any problems with the fucking lies your friends tell you, beggars, do you? You're spending all this time trying to come up with some shit that you're never going to convince me of that I'm like you. E-beggars. I might have said secular. I meant e-beggars, whatever. Yeah, no. And secular, I've seen some of the shit you allow people to write about me in your fucking live streams. I wouldn't even let people write that shit about you in my live streams, but you just let it fly thinking it's fucking funny. It's a fucking joke. It isn't.
You and I must make a plan. We must bring salvation back. Where there is love, you know I'll be there. Sing and share. I'll reach out my hand to you.
Can you guys tell who that is singing?
I have faith in all you do. Just call my name. I'll be there. And I'll be there to comfort you. Build my world and dreams about you. I'm so glad that I found you. I'll be there with the love that's strong. I'll be your strength. I'll keep holding on. Holding on, holding on, holding on. If you should ever find someone new, I know he better be to you. Cause if he doesn't, you know I'll be there.
Hey, TH. It's Cher. It's Cher singing with them. And I noticed that you didn't even mention Swiss. It was Hippie who mentioned Swiss, having the fucking audacity to tell you you're supposed to fucking apologize to her. Fuck that. Fuck them fucking bitches. And fuck e-beggars sitting there. Oh, I don't know why TH is pulling Swiss into it. Why the fuck are you why are you inserting yourself into it? Oh, so you think there's some kind of difference between people getting pulled into it or inserting yourself into it, King of Chaos? Why don't you just shut the fuck up? Because you know it's wrong for these people to be calling people's family members and calling people tooth, calling people methy, calling people nut. You fucking know it is. You know it is. E-beggars. But what's right for you is fucking whacked to us. So why don't you just move along and tiptoe through the tulips with your own fucking wacko friends, okay? You can sit there writing paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of fucking lunacy. That's all I think of it as, okay? Chitty baby boy.
Every time I think I had enough and start heading for the door, there's a very strange vibration piercing me right to the core, and it's just turning on you. You know you love us more and more.
I don't care what anybody says. Michael Jackson was not guilty. Those people were fucking setting him up. And that's why the father of one of them killed himself, because they knew. And that kid's still fucking alive. Why they should be questioning why he was on Make-A-Wish. You know, I thought that was for terminal kids and their last wish. And here's this guy doing something kind for him. And, you know, I mean, ugh. Then you got assholes like Munchie running around. Yeah, I don't care for nicknames like Methy or Nut Nut or Tooth or, you know, Cocktail or Anal Burger. That shit's bullshit. These are people who just don't know how to. I mean, seriously, now, Patricia, go walk around your fucking neighborhood and answer everybody's question with, you know, touting your credentials of why everything that you answer them will be something from the Bible. You'll quote it and you'll say it and blah, 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 blah. Like, go fuck yourself, because your actions are rotten. Or ashtray, or hidden dentures and shit. I mean, come on. Chomo. You didn't even come out for your friend for Chomo, but you're sitting there defending everybody, making fucking videos towards me about an error in a Bible verse, but you didn't come out and defend your friend for when they were calling her Chomo. Real about what? We are real. We're real. People's feelings, though. No, I haven't even seen children do this shit. I don't even see children doing the shit they do. They're fucking nasty. I can't imagine what these people's childhood was like. I can't even. Now we say go back. You know, faceless troll, nothing more. Right. They are nothing more than that. You're absolutely right. But it's the problem is they think there's something more than that. They think they have the right to fucking pick somebody out they don't even know and say, let's make this person's life difficult or try to. And then usually the person that or the people that they do that to really has too much going on in life that, you know, they're not even the type to that would sit there and fucking call somebody's job or somebody's family or dox their kids. And they know that. They know. They go, this is a good person. They won't retaliate in the way, you know, we're gonna attack them. That's what they bank on. One of these days, these motherfuckers are gonna fucking underestimate someone. And it won't be fucking funny for them. Speaker, I gotta get a new one. I gotta get a new one. E-beggars, start showing your fucking face. Stop lying that you saved 1,265 lives, you fucking dweeb. How'd you do that? By stopping harassing them? Don't fucking act like you're anything of importance. I can't wait for the day either. He claims he is. I find that hard to fucking believe. And he says, oh, his wife gets involved in it too? Two fucking weirdos? Double weirdos? Good. That's great. Wonderful. Then your kids can be embarrassed of both their parents when it comes to fucking fruition. But I find it really hard to believe that you take time away from this so-called lovely family of yours to write the stupid shit that you write in your posts. I mean, there's dumb shit to spend your time on. Maybe she is one. Multi-day storm chase has begun. Why don't you be a storm chaser? Too fucking scared? Too scared, King of Chaos? Look at this guy. He's fucking proving his stupid shit, dumb shit. Like, I don't know who he's trying to prove. We know you're a liar. You can stop trying to prove it now, okay? Okay, you beggars? We know. We know you're a liar. We already know that. Okay? You don't have to confirm it. We know. We are well aware of it. Janelle, if you're such a big bad bitch, next time you make a community post, don't make it so vague. Actually address the person that you think needs some mental help, because unless there's somebody who thinks your opinion matters, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, any comments coming from you to anybody with a mind is just a waste of you typing stuff, in my opinion. It's not even about them being Christians or anything. That's not even about it. It's not even about it. And people who, do drugs can be people of faith. They can be nicer people than these motherfuckers. These people want to act like they don't do anything at all, not knowing that the evil that runs through them, that's their addiction. That's their fucking addiction. It really is. Swiss is addicted to calling me methy, I guess, because she must dream of meth or something. I don't know. These fucking bitches are just off the chain. I don't know. Yep, you got nothing better to do with your time than make stupid videos like that. You don't want to correct Janelle's pastor. You just want to correct me. Go fuck yourself. How's that sound? Hey, United will stand, Diane, and Wild Wisdom, and divided will fall. 3 people will probably fall anyway. It's a sad shame, isn't it? And that's probably what the future of the country is, because if people stay this quiet while people are stealing their fucking liberties, their money, their civil rights, and everything else, we're fucking doomed. Peace, love, and tacos.